Welcome to Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where poker players from all walks of life seek fame, fortune, and the ultimate prize, a championship bracelet.
The money means a lot, but the bracelet is as important to me.
Yes! I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Woo! I really want the bracelet. We're all hungry for it.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going for the bracelet. If I can double up once or twice, I'll be dangerous, I guarantee you.
Yeah! You make a mistake, you win the money.
I got all the ladies cheering for me.
Tonight, 9 elite players will meet at the final table, so sit back and relax as we get ready to shuffle up and deal here at the Horseshoe. Welcome to the 2004 World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. 831 poker hopefuls entered this tournament, each with a dream of winning the $300,000 top prize. And tonight, the forgotten man at the poker table comes forward. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron alongside Norman Chad. And Norm, who closer to the action than the dealer, yet most of the time invisible? Well, at our final table tonight, we have 3 dealers.
Actually 4 if you include the person actually dealing the cards. But yes, tonight is revenge of the dealers. Dealers often take a lot of abuse from players at the poker table, but in this tournament so far, dealers have sat down and abused the players.
Well, they have indeed, Norm. Dealers have found success at the final table, occupying 3 of the top 5 spots on the Toyota chip count. Joe Awada used to deal at the Circus, Scott Fischman at the Mirage before he became a full-time player. And the only one who's still currently dealing right now is Kent Washington. And right now he is the man of action, looks at his hole cards, throws them back at our current real dealer, and now over to Jason Veriauthicorn. And on our Miller High Life pocket cam, you see that he's got a couple of 8s and some money to play with.
Moves all in.
And he'll push it all in with 2 8s.
Is that his name down in the corner, or is that an anagram?
We'll call him Jason V for right now. Now to Scott Fischman and his buddy Dutch Boyd, who finished 12th in the main event last year, sitting on the rail with Scott's dad, Joel.
Most of Scott's experience playing poker on the internet, and even on the internet, you know aces are golden.
Come on.
Now that's what you do with aces in Texas Hold'em.
I gotta take a look.
That's Rollo Johnson.
I don't believe you have to worry about a Rollo.
The percentage next to the player's name is the probability they will have the best hand at the end.
You can double up. Catch up.
Doesn't like what he sees. Joe Awada kicks it in. And now to Tonio Scali. And he will fold also.
I'm going to be honest. I don't like my chances anymore.
The nature of No Limit is this. Jason V doesn't like his chances. He's a 4-to-1 dog. If he loses here, he's out of the tournament. But if he wins, he becomes the chip leader.
And now the flop. Couple of kings and a 3. Jason V is hurting big time.
He needs an 8, and he needs an 8 in a hurry, else he is gone from today's event.
Now here comes the turn card.
Turn card is an 8.
And a quick end to the hand. Scott Fischman draws a full house on the turn and sends Jason V packing. Dutch Boyd and Joel Fischman almost as thrilled as Scott at the table. And that will be the end of the day for Jason Veriauthicorn. And for right now, Scott Fischman's aces ruling in this Texas No Limit Hold'em tournament. Here are the Miller High Life rules for Texas Hold'em. Each player is first dealt 2 down cards. A round of betting then occurs as players decide for the first time if they're in or they're out. Then come the community cards with the flop, the turn, and the river with a round of betting after each. In the end, the best 5-card combination wins the hand and takes the pot. This is event number 9 of 33 here at the World Series of Poker, a $1,500 buy-in, No Limit Hold'em. And Kent Washington right now looking at a couple of 8s. We saw the weakness of 8s just a moment ago.
He's going to play these, and Kent with a lot of gamble in him, and he plays a lot of hands and obviously wants to play the 8s.
And now the rest of the table checks out their cards. Scott Fischman, our new chip leader, will not play. Rollo Johnson, nice suit. Doesn't like it either. And Joe Awada No good. Now over to Tony O'Scali, and he'll check his whole cards. King 8 suited.
Well, he doesn't have much choice here, Lon.
Yes, your forecast is indeed correct.
Very short stack, and he's going to have to go all in with his King 8 suited.
And he goes all in with the 17,000 remaining chips.
Scali's got a dead 8. He's going to need a bunch of spades or a king.
Oh, the flop is a heartbreaker for Scali, all hearts.
Washington now with a flush draw, so Scali's going to need a king that isn't a heart.
And he gets a queen. And now, for Tony O'Scali, one card to come on the river. Needs a king that's not a heart to stay in this tournament. It's a 7 of diamonds, and the 8s do hold up this time for Kent Washington. Wins the hand. Tony O'Scali, in his first World Series of Poker final table, earned some invaluable experience and $34,000 to boot. So now we are down to 7 players here in this $1,500 buy-in Texas No Limit Hold'em tournament at the Horseshoe. Blair Rodman will fold. Magazoo folds once again. Now over to Joe Awada, the former dealer who now is a casino games inventor. A couple of 10s. And he will put in for 45,000 chips over to Kent Washington now. Couple of queens.
The dealers kept getting dealt good cards.
And we know that Washington's going to play it, just how strongly.
I'm all in.
That's strong.
And appropriate. Not many hands he can be worried about.
Scott Fischman next to act.
I can't count.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
But Rollo goes.
Yeah, Rollo acted out of turn before Scott Fischman had acted.
Awada now must decide to call the all-in or not.
If you got to think this long, I like my hand.
So you're telling me you got kings, huh?
Pretty good read. And a pair of 10s is a very good hand, one you'd normally play pre-flop. And he's trying to get a read on Washington to figure out if Washington does hold a hand that beats him.
Could be a hell of a bluff.
Well, he's trying to talk Awada into thinking he's bluffing, even though he's a 4-1 favorite right now.
What does 7th place pay?
You asking for me or for you?
It's pretty nice. I can live with that.
You'll be happy with that, huh?
Dealer trash talk always more friendly than player trash talk.
Keep talking.
And he wants him to keep talking. He's trying to read between the lines. When I do that, Lana, I'm usually reading the wrong book. But these guys have ways of picking up tells. Tough decision for Joe Awada for all those chips.
And look at Washington. Stop talking. Well, he's reaching for the chips.
Yeah, if he doesn't play here, it's a great laydown. It's tough not to play the 10s. I'd play the 10s.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to let you have it.
Ah, he throws him away.
Ken Washington shows.
Ken Washington's not going to show.
Ken
He doesn't want to show that.
Ken Washington.
Woo! The game, baby. He doesn't want to show that.
Ah, but he does show the queens. And Awada knows he played it correctly.
Good hand.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And in part by Harris Entertainment. And the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. Texas Hold'em.
This is event number 9 of 33 here at the World Series of Poker, and our Toyota chip count shows that our top 2 men actually are dealers.
And of course, event number 33 will be the main event. First prize up to $5 million. And let's see if we got dealers at that final table, huh?
And our chip leader right there with 330,000 chips, Scott Fischman. And he's got a couple of jacks.
He's not only a former dealer, he's only 23. So he's done with dealing already, and he's now a big-time player at a very tender age.
Starting his second career. And now the table behind Fischman folds. Mags once again in the corner. He will fold.
Go ahead, bully us around now.
Yeah, I got the chips.
You got the rights.
I do the same thing.
Now Kent Washington with ace-king.
That's going to be tough to bully ace-king.
We saw a dealer-dealer showdown with Washington and Awada, and now Washington's going to go all in against the other dealer, Fischman.
Yeah, if he gets a call, again, the nature of no limit, Lon. If he loses his hand, Kent Washington is out. If he's called and he wins the hand, he becomes the chip leader.
Scott's buddies here to support their friend.
Fischman in a similar situation that Joe Awada just was in a moment ago with the pair of tens.
Can I get a speech, please?
Kent gave a speech with the queens, but right now he's a mummy with another awesome hand. Fischman, one of the many young internet specialists we're seeing here this year, not used to looking at other players since he plays online most of the time.
I'll let you have a chance for a speech before I call you here.
Not telling anything, maybe telling Scott Fischman something.
How do you tell heads or tails?
Are chips the same on both sides, Lon?
I think they are.
You want a coin?
Oh, he shows his jacks as he lays them down.
Wow.
And for an internet player, Scott Fischman sure carries himself well at the table.
He'll never show.
I had the best hand, but it's okay. Yeah, you did have the best. It's okay.
Kent Washington isn't going to show his hand this time.
I can lay down that hand and still bust him in 5 minutes.
You know, he's starting to sound like Phil Hellmuth.
And as soon as he showed him, I just went,
Yeah, I don't really like
now he's going to come over.
Well, Scott's friends questioning his strategy at the end there.
He had ace king, no doubt. No doubt. I'm gonna bust him. Now I'm just playing the who cares? That's great. You know what? I'm okay. So just go play your game. I'm just saying, watch what you do.
These are a group of poker-playing friends who all keep an eye on each other, and they call themselves the Crew.
We are the Crew. We all play poker. Each guy has a different style. And the basic goal of the Crew is to incorporate all our styles and get us all at that top level. We are going to take over the broker world. Right out of the gate, I made it 3 cashes at the Bellagio. Dutch is on fire, cashing here and there, and Brett won a tournament at the Bike last month. We just got onto the circuit, and we're taking everybody by storm.
I like the Crew, Lon, but can't they walk on the sidewalk? What is this, West Side Story? Jeez.
Scott Fischman, member of the Crew, will fold over to Rollo Johnson in his first World Series of Poker. He's from Aspen, Colorado.
All in.
And he will make a big impression now, pushing all his chips in. This amateur player has been having a great time here playing with the pros.
And he is pretty short stacked, so the all-in predictable with his pair of sixes.
Mark Magazoo folded. One of his cards flipped over, actually.
You see that 8 of diamonds?
No, sir, did not see that 8 of diamonds.
Does that help you at all?
No, sir.
Or hurt you?
It does not help me a bit.
Playful banner from Joe Awada.
And Joe's got an ace-3 unsuited.
Yeah, not much.
What does he like about this hand that makes him think?
I don't know.
Well, looks like he's reaching.
I think he's just posturing.
You get a lot of chips.
I will have, if I call you me,
If you win, you win.
I call you.
I don't like that call at all. There's not a whole lot of hands he was going to be even money against.
Oh, he's a 2-to-1 dog right now, is Awada, plus.
But it is Rollo Johnson who's all in.
Oh, and it's a royal flop. Awada pairs his ace.
And now Rollo Johnson is just in dire straits. He's going to need a 6, else he's gone.
Oh, it's a queen, nothing doing. Only a 6 for Johnson will keep him in this tournament.
I hate to lose this jacket from the table.
Sharp, huh? Oh, it is a 7 of spades. Gentle Joe Awada wins the hand, and Rollo Johnson will head back to Colorado. He'll get enough money to buy some fur earmuffs in downtown Aspen, though. And the dealer juggernaut rolls on.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
The 2004 World Series of Poker has enjoyed a record number of people participating in virtually every event, making it even more difficult for the top players to win Player of the Year honors, including Chris Moneymaker. He's back, but the larger fields don't seem to be affecting his game plan one bit.
If I'm playing against 800 people, it doesn't matter. 8,000 people, it doesn't matter, because you can't put all those people on the table with me. I just got to beat them 8 at a time.
A good plan, but actions speak louder than words, and so far, Chris has been held silent as he is yet to cash in a World Series event. One player who has been making a lot of noise is Paul Phillips, who's leading all players with 194 total points. Paul has been one of the hottest players here, already having made 2 final tables.
When you're running well, you expect things to run well, and that is good for your game because it means you are willing to do those things that require fearlessness.
Paul's friend Daniel Negreanu is currently ranked 8th overall with 141 points. He's played in every World Series event thus far, having made 1 final table and a little over $105,000. And Daniel seems determined to become our 2004 Player of the Year.
Anybody can win one tournament, but to be the guy who has the best overall month, now that's an accomplishment in my mind.
Here is a look at our top 8 players on the Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard. Our final table has shrunk now to 6 players, and the winner will jump onto the top 5 of that Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard. Perhaps Kent Washington will be the one. He's well on his way. He's got an ace-jack and looks like he's ready to take action.
40.
He will raise 40,000 now with that ace-jack. Scott Fischman says no. Over to Blair Rodman. From Palm Springs, California, he's been coming to the World Series of Poker since 1982.
Come on in.
And he is all in. Got about 122,000 in his chip stack.
Yeah, half of you, when you go on this situation, you want everyone else to go away and you just take it down. And the other half of you want somebody to call you so you can double up. You just don't know what to think.
And the task now of the call goes to Kent Washington. And it is his turn to stare.
I'd probably throw this away, but I play too scared. He's going to call it. In tournaments, you often take chances you don't in live poker.
Blair has 2-9.
And he's trying to take Blair Rodman out. It's a coin flip.
So it is Rodman who was all in and could be out of the tournament with this hand. And here comes the flop. It's huge for Washington. 2 jacks now and a big advantage.
That's probably Blair Rodman's last drink of water. He's going to lead a 9 to stay alive.
It's an 8, no help, only a 9. And the river card to come. It's a 7 of diamonds, and Kent Washington wins the hand, knocking off his 2nd player of the day. Blair Rodman eliminated in 6th place. Rodman having a great World Series, finished 5th in an earlier tournament, and now here he'll take home $57,000 for his effort. For Kent Washington, his penchant for pushing all his chips into the pot has earned him a fitting nickname that reflects his aggressive play.
Raise-itis. I'm all in. All in. I got that nickname by shoving all my chips into the pot. I'm all in. It's interesting to see if I'm going to get a call, if I'm going to win, if I'm going to lose. I like to gamble up.
Kent Washington loves to play this game and play it often, Norm.
Yeah, he does, and it's allowed him to accumulate more than 500,000 in chips right now.
He is the heavyweight at the table right now, in the hands of Scott Fischman. Once the chip leader, he'll throw it away. Now over to Mark Magazoo, who has just about 46,000 in chips, and well, we know he's got a king. I guess that's good enough.
Well, I think he knows both his cards. He will go all in. Joe Awada with King 10 suited, not bad, but it's not a great hand against an all-in, and he's going to get rid of it with an aggressive player like Washington behind him. He decides he doesn't want to play.
Washington's got ace-8. I don't know, 2 cards he wouldn't play.
Well, he called the last all-in with an ace-jack offsuit. This would not take a lot of chips for him with the amount he has to call, so he's considering it.
And he does indeed call the all-in from Mark Magazoo.
I looked at one.
Oh.
I got at least one king.
I thought he had seen both. He had.
Now he sees it. King 5.
You know, bad habit of mine, Lon. I like to look at both of my cards, and this is going to cost him probably. He doesn't have much of a hand.
Now here comes the flop, and it's 10-9-4. Doesn't help anybody.
But Joe Awada knows it would have helped him. He would have paired the 10 if he'd stayed in the hand. Magazoo going to need a king or a 5 to stay alive.
Turn card now comes. Oh, another low card. It's a 3 of diamonds.
So Magazoo will need a small miracle on the river, or he's back to his day job as a computer programmer.
And the river card is a queen of clubs. Not going to be good for Mark Magazoo. Ken Washington knocks off another player. Magazoo, the rookie, at the final table gone. His chips adding to the stack of Kent Washington and Joe Awada shaking his head.
He knows he would have won with his king 10. A pair of 10s would have taken down that pot.
But as it stands, Kent Washington fully in the driver's seat with over 600,000 chips. Welcome back to Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas and the Horseshoe. The World Series of Poker is made up of 33 events, always action taking place on the outer tables. Min Nguyen's been one of the most consistent players here. Across the room is teacher Min the Master looking on to see how his pupil is faring. And there's Chris Ferguson, whose talents go beyond just playing poker. In previous episodes, Chris Ferguson has demonstrated his ability to throw an everyday playing card through fruit like a hot knife goes through butter. But now, his greatest challenge, facing an even tougher, denser fruit group, a vegetable. Four players left, and you see how they stack up on the Toyota chip count. This is event number 9 of 33 at the World Series of Poker. Joe Awada will fold, and over to Kent Washington, who has been undoubtedly the most active player at the table, and just as I say that, of course, Norm.
He takes off one hand at the top of every hour.
And now we go over to Scott Epstein, who is a rookie here at the World Series of Poker, a King 5.
All in.
And short stacked. He's got about 38,000. He's going to make the play now.
He's in the small blind, but it's like it's an epidemic going all in on King 5, Lon. You can't make a living doing that. And like Mark Magazoo before him, Epstein's going to try to stay alive with King 5.
Now over to Scott Fischman and the crew looking on anxiously.
Don't those people have jobs?
Or a table to go to?
Well, King 7 suited. He's already in the big blind, so it doesn't cost him much if he wants to call this.
Scott Epstein's in. No, don't.
Yeah, you're right.
It's King 5 offsuit against King 7.
And it is a big advantage for Scott Fischman. And Epstein now.
Oh, he's resigned to his fate. It's the 7 against his 5. He's going to need a 5.
And here comes the flop. It is a match for Epstein's 5.
Boy, he got an early reprieve from the governor there. The miracle card, and he's now got a strong lock on this hand.
Only a 7 will help Fischman, and there it is. Woo! And now Epstein needs a 5 to take this hand. It's a queen, and Scott Fischman catches lightning in a bottle and eliminates Scott Epstein from this no-limit hold'em tournament. And Joel Fischman and Dutch Boyd enjoying life right now, watching Scott take down that hand. So now the 3 men who have made a living as dealers will now battle each other for the top prize in this no-limit hold'em event. Scott Fischman at $460,000, Joe Awada, the short stack, at $140,000, and the chip leader, Kent Washington.
Most players love to play with dealers because they're more action than the average players.
Dealers are always wild and aggressive. I think it's because they get tired of dealing all the time and they want to actually throw some chips in the middle.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Okay, I'm all in.
They love it. They play after work, before work. Some of them doing work.
When I was dealing, it wasn't like a job for me. I was learning the game.
I get to watch thousands of extra hands that a lot of players don't get to see.
You can confirm whether or not you were right or wrong on your reads.
You see a lot of other possibilities. You just like to be in the action.
I love playing with dealers. They're among the nicest people you'll find at a table, but indeed they don't usually apply what they see as dealers, and they lose more than they win.
On the Miller High Life Pocket Cam, you see Kent Washington with Queen 9. He plays these cards just about any time. He plays the whole table like he's shorthanded.
Yeah, and we are shorthanded now, 3 players, so you are going to play Queen 9 pretty often.
Fischman folds over to Gentle Joe Awada. Couple of 9s.
Okay, I'm all in.
Well, the short stack's going to play it all. He called the 40,000 and he pushes in 67,000 more.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ken Washington's thinking about. He should write a blank check to his favorite charity before he calls this bet. At least put the money to good use, and he is going to call it.
Yeah.
This is a preposterous play to me. He can't be favored against hardly anything, and he's well behind in the hand, a 2-to-1 underdog.
But here indeed comes the flop, no matter what he's got, and it's no immediate boost to either player. A couple of hearts, though.
And Kent Washington would hope to get a queen to knock out Joe Awada.
And now the turn card, another heart, so each player with a flush draw, but Kent Washington with a higher
Yeah, so
heart.
if a heart comes on the river or a queen, that would knock out Joe Awada.
And now the river. Ace of diamonds, and Joe Awada was staring third place straight in the eye, but he doubles up at the expense of our chip leader. He now has over 250,000, and for Washington, a huge blow to his confidence.
Yeah, for Joe Awada, those are gift chips from Kent Washington, chips that Kent Washington never should have given him.
The World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. Texas Hold'em.
Welcome back to Las Vegas and the prize money and the bracelet for this event number 9 of 33 here at the World Series of Poker. Kent Washington stands atop, barely, the Toyota chip count with our trio of dealers at the table.
You know, Lon, on the average, 2 out of every 3 dealers who play wear sunglasses, and that's exactly what we have here today.
It's amazing. What books do you read for that?
Books you cannot buy.
Joe Awada. You see a couple of kings.
Well, he's either going to come back over the top of the big blind, or sometimes you slow play it, hope to trap your opponent.
And he will call the blind. And now over to Kent Washington, who has never seen an ace not worthy of playing.
He's gotten a lot of them.
And he's going to raise it 40,000. Huh.
That's best case scenario for Joe Awada. He was going to slow play this hand, and he may change his strategy now. He may decide, well, maybe let me get my chips in, because Kent Washington might call.
Joe is the short stack. And that short stack, as tall as it is, goes all in. 124,000 now.
Now that ace-5 doesn't look nearly as good. Washington keeps sticking his hand in boiling water, and what happens when you do that, Lon?
Get burned.
Dude, no, I want to play this. I want to play Ken heads up. This guy is like a sitting duck, bro.
I hate to agree with 23-year-old crew members, but he's right. Kent Washington is a sitting duck.
I call.
Oh, and the ace-5 is going to call it, and Kent Washington is going to be very disappointed when the cards get turned over.
Kent, ace-5 of clubs.
I'm playing bad.
And now here comes the flop. And 2 5s for Kent Washington, but Awada's kings are still in charge.
Well, another 5 or an ace would give Washington the lead in the hand.
And Kent Washington hurting right now, wishing he had not played that ace-5 perhaps. And now the turn card is a queen. Glimmer of hope, maybe?
Well, that now gives him a straight draw for Kent Washington, so he can knock out Awada with a king for a straight or an ace or a 5.
He doesn't like his chances, and he is rightly so, shaking his head. A 10 of diamonds wins the hand for Joe Awada, and he has taken a lot of chips from Kent Washington.
Kent Washington has played fast and loose and, frankly, carelessly with this chip lead, and he no longer has the chip lead.
But Joe Awada, the Lebanese-born poker player, continues to make the most of any opportunity he's presented.
I think some of us just born lucky. I came here when I was 13 years old. Knew very little English, and I had to go work so I could send money back home. So I started working with the Ringling Brothers Circus in the concession department. About a year later, I decided I want to become a juggler, so I bought some props, like hoops and balls and clubs, and I started practicing every morning for 2 years. Finally, one of the performers' father got me a contract with a small circus. I went with them and made it to Vegas. And I performed a lot of the shows here in Vegas for about 13 years.
Joe's juggling career took him all over the country and brought him national acclaim. But tragically, in 1978, a car accident forced him to quit his juggling career forever. Eventually, in Las Vegas, Joe found the opportunity for a new beginning and started working as a poker dealer. He then used his knowledge of the gaming world to reinvent himself by developing new casino games. He started his own company and today has a number of games on the market, the most popular being three-way action and 3-5-7 poker.
As a matter of fact, we have a couple of our games here at the Horseshoe and about 4 or 5 casinos here downtown. I feel I've been very fortunate to have succeeded in everything that I've done up to this point, and I hope it keeps going.
Joe Awada's luck has held up very well here at this final table. One of the last 3 players. Now, Kent Washington folds.
Again,
newsflash.
Could be the top of the hour again.
Now over to Scott Fischman with a 7-8, not suited.
In the small blind. And Joe Awada could take a card for free now if he wanted to, or he could raise.
And he's looking at King 8.
And he'll take one for free. We'll see the flop for free for Joe Awada.
And here it comes now. It is 8-3-4, each player with a couple of 8s, but Awada with the king puts him in charge.
Yeah, they both get their pair. There's a check from Scott Fischman. Joe Awada in the better position with the better kicker.
And it looks like 35,000 from Awada.
And an immediate raise.
Wow.
From Scott Fischman.
That is a strange move, I think, with that flop.
Well, he's got top pair, so he might have the best hand right now.
Now to Joe Awada. Is he going to call the raise?
Both these guys have made great reads all day.
I'm all in.
Joe Awada is going to go all in.
That's a great bet, Lon.
Nervous time for Joel Fischman and Dutch Boyd.
How much?
Yeah, that's pause for concern for Scott Fischman. His pair of 8s with a bad kicker doesn't look nearly as good right now.
And it's 237,000 to Fischman now.
Remember, Joe Awada got to see the flop for free. He could have been slow playing a high pair. He could have had 3-4 in his hand, and now he has 2 pair. He could have 4 flush. You just don't know.
Need a spade?
Joe Awada can get players to talk. Fischman not so lucky right now. There is Ellen Fischman and Joel Fischman, Scott's parents.
Yeah, need a spade, huh? Can we rabbit hunt 2 cards if I fold?
Is this Let's Make a Deal show? Or?
Can't we rabbit hunt 2 cards?
Not the Monty Hall show, I don't think. No.
When players want to see what the would-be river card would be, that's called rabbit hunting. We have the rabbit cam. Fischman wants to see both the turn and river cards, double rabbit hunting. Lon, curiosity killed the cat, and I guarantee you the cat was a Hold'em player.
Oh, and Fischman pulls the hand.
Yes. Rabbit hunting. The tournament director said yes.
He wanted to play the hand, he just didn't want to pay the price.
All right.
There is the would-be turn card, a king. It would have been great for Awada. And then the would-be river card, a 3 of hearts, a good laydown by Fischman in the end.
Scott Fischman can rest easy now.
Joe Awada has been climbing the ladder all day long. He has finally found his luck, and he has now become a very serious threat to win this thing.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is The High Life. And in part by Harris Entertainment. And Levitra. Ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts.
Welcome back to Vegas and our No Limit Hold'em $1,500 buy-in event, and 3 players left.
It's amazing, Lon. We started with 831 players. The last 3 are dealers. It's a statistical improbability.
And Kent Washington, the one who is still an active dealer now, looks at the whole cards. He's got a couple of 3s.
He has been on a slippery slope, losing his chip lead.
And he's going to risk all of those chips with a pair of 3s.
Yeah, he's down to a little more than 200,000, and with that pair, I'm not surprised he went all in.
I call.
Scott Fischman with the ace-queen will call him.
A very quick call from Scott Fischman in what is probably a coin flip situation in his mind.
Joe Awada gets out of the way, and we heard Fischman earlier say he wanted to go heads up against Washington. Well, he got his wish now. So it is Kent Washington with all his chips at risk as we get prepared for the flop. And here it comes. It's an ace and a bullet to the heart of Kent Washington.
Kent Washington now, the slippery slope, he's down at the bottom. He's going to need a 3. It's been a long, slow meltdown for him at this table.
Turn card is a 4 of diamonds. No help to Washington.
He's down to his last card. It has to be a 3.
Or the one-time chip leader will be gone from the tournament, a king of hearts, and Scott Fischman eliminates Kent Washington. Washington will take home 3rd place and $91,000. And we got our money's worth, and so did Kent Washington, a very aggressive player, pushing all the time. A lot of fun to watch at his first World Series final table. And for Scott Fischman, it's time to shine. He had lost the chip leadership and then got it back, and now he will go heads up against Joe Awada.
Yeah, I was having fun for a while, but they had a little more fun with me. Nothing else I could say. It just fell apart. Gave it away. Just gave it away.
So now we're down to just 2 and $300,000 to the winner of this no-limit event between 46-year-old veteran Joe Awada and the upstart 23-year-old Scott Fischman.
I feel like I'm one of the best players there is. And I play a hand with a guy, and I'm thinking about every move he made 3 hours ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, a year ago.
This game you can't really never figure it out. As the saying goes, it takes a short time to learn and a lifetime to master.
I'm 23 years old, and I'm playing just as good as anybody.
You know, with no limit, there's so many things going against you. Nobody could master this game.
I really want the bracelet, and if I can do it today, it would be amazing.
With a little luck, I'm very confident I could win it.
I played Omaha with our chip leader, Scott Fischman, earlier this week at Bellagio. He beat me out of a big pot and then left. In poker, we call that a hidden run, but now he's sitting there trying to become one of the youngest World Series bracelet winners ever, and I'm sitting here with you, Lon.
That's worth something, isn't it? Don't answer that. Awada with an 8-5.
In the small blind, and now Scott Fischman already in the hand will see the flop for free in the big blind.
All right, so 10-9, and here comes the flop. And everybody gets a piece of that. 2 pair for Awada, 8s and 5s, and 1 pair of 9s for Fischman.
Yeah, potential fireworks, and Fischman comes firing out with the top pair.
40,000 to Awada.
Heads up, Awada's got to like 2 pair on the flop.
And now the nonverbal communication starts. And it is a raise from Awada, 60,000. Back to Fischman now.
So Awada raises with the 2 small pair. Scott Fischman has the top pair, the 9s.
And Fischman will call it. And he's got to be thinking there's no way that Awada has 2 pair in his hand.
Yeah, he's got to like his position with the top pair, but I'm sure the raise concerned him a bit.
Dutch Boyd and Joel Fischman seem to have the hand figured out, but it's this man, Scott Fischman, trying to manage his chip lead and win this title. And now for the turn card, a 2 of spades, no help to either player.
I'm all in.
Fischman immediately calls all in, and the crew members take a straw poll to see if they concur.
And that would put Joe Awada all in if he calls.
Well, that's a gutsy call to go to all in right there.
And Joe Awada's got to be concerned here. Obviously, he's out of the tournament. If he loses his hand, he's got to believe his 2 pair is best, but you just don't know.
What could you have, Sky? That deuce didn't help you, did it?
Absolutely correct. It didn't help him.
Oh, boy. You're not talking. I call.
You talk, he calls. You don't talk, he calls.
Good call by Joe Awada.
So now the river card will tell the whole story. Will Awada be out of this tournament, or will he take a lot of chips from Scott Fischman?
A 10, a 9, or a 2 would knock Joe Awada out and make Fischman the champion.
And now here comes the river card. It is a 5. Joe Awada draws a full house and wins the hand. Wow. And a sour taste in the mouth of Dutch Boyd, but not as bad as what Scott Fischman is feeling right now. A huge swing in the chips. Joe Awada has taken a commanding lead in this tournament. Welcome back to the Horseshoe. Continuing heads up, Joe Awada's lead, 645 to 580 over Scott Fischman. And the action over to Awada right now as he looks at his whole cards, a couple of 5s, and he says that's worthy of a bet of 60,000 chips.
Any pair in heads up looks really good. Ace-King in heads up looks very good, and a raise from Scott Fischman.
Scotty's going to raise.
And it's a raise of 120,000 chips. Now that's going to go back to Joe Awada, who must decide to call or fold.
Another tough decision. Pairs are good. The only thing he'd be worried about is a higher pair, then he'd be in dire straits. But if he's up against 2 overcards, then he's in decent shape. How they decide, I don't know. We can see the cards, they can't. Even when we can see them, I don't know what to do.
Joe Awada has been pretty much spot on his calls and folds throughout the day. And he is going to call this one. And now the flop. 9, 7, 4, and a big advantage now for Joe Awada.
Yeah, no help for either player on the flop.
Scotty says all in.
So without even a pair, Scott Fischman is going to go all in, and that all-in call sending nervous jitters through the support crew.
But he does have ace-king, though this is the second straight time we've seen him go all in with the inferior hand. You can't blame him right here. As for Awada, if he put Fischman on 2 high cards like ace-king, ace-queen, that flop didn't help Fischman, so he can play. If he puts him on a higher pair, he's going to have to drop the hand. It's a tough decision.
I call it.
And Joe Awada will call, and now he puts himself in position to win this no-limit tournament. He's a 3-1 favorite over Scott Fischman. All Fischman's chips are in the pot now.
And for Fischman, an ace or a king, his best hope, or his day will be done.
And now here comes the turn card. It's a 9 of hearts and opens up a couple doors.
Yeah, now if a 7 came on the river, that would make 2 pair and Fischman would have the better kicker. But still, Awada, a 4-1 favorite to take home this title right now.
Joe Awada, 1 card away from winning his first World Series bracelet. Here comes the river card.
7!
Joe Awada cannot believe what he has witnessed. Scott Fischman has drawn a miracle 7 again for a win.
That is just unbelievable, Lon. This thing was over. I heard the fat lady singing in the background. It was over.
The only thing Joe Awada can take away from this is he played the hand correctly. The cards just fell to Scott Fischman, and now an overwhelming chip lead for Fischman. Joe Awada has a lot of work to do. He is left with only 60,000 in chips.
That's a tough one to take.
Joe Awada bemoaning the fact he lost that last hand. Scott Fischman still stacking his chips, so they keep playing.
Mullins.
He's going to go right back at him.
I call.
And there's the call from Awada.
It's like one continuous motion from the last hand. And Joe without much choice there but to go all in.
And with an ace, Fischman with the advantage, and now the flop. Another ace for Fischman.
Awada still hanging on by a thread, though. Another king or a 7 would keep him alive.
Turn card, 8 of diamonds, no help to Awada. And now it's Scott Fischman who was 1 card away from a championship bracelet. Here is the river, it's a jack!
Let's hear it for Scotty Fischman.
Scott Fischman has defeated Joe Awada in an entertaining back-and-forth battle, and this 23-year-old former dealer wins $300,000.
And what a tough defeat for Joe Awada. As is often the case in poker, it wasn't the last hand, but the next to last hand that was a tough blow to take, and the crew celebrates its first bracelet.
Today, emotions ran high.
Yes!
And the aggressive play led to countless lead changes. But in the end, it proved to be the day of the dealers.
So you're telling me you got kings, huh?
Could be a hell of a bluff.
And when the dust finally settled, the veteran was stunned, and youth was served as Scott Fischman and the crew showed they will be a force to be reckoned with.
You're part of the crew. And last year we heard when Dutch Boyd had a good run in the championship event that he said that, you know, we're going to take over the world. Is this the first flag down and taking over the world?
There's been a few flags before this, but this one's stuck in the ground. It's stuck in the ground forever.
For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. We'll see you next time at the 2004 World Series of Poker.